Alright guys, so today I'm going to change the brakes on my A4 B5. At the very first move, make sure your car is in gear and also the parking brake is on. Alright, I have checked the car up and I will now be using some secondary form of protection. This is necessary because it is very dangerous to lie inside of the car while it is in the air. Alright, so I have used the Volkswagen wheels and some wood. I will be using the impact driver to remove the lug studs. Basically the brake caliper is a hydraulic piston that presses together the brake pads. This clamp is held on by two screws. These are 7mm hex. After the caps are out, you can try to loosen these. Alright, if you use a wrench with these grooves on it, make sure just to use it to loosen it and then use an Allen key, because the problem is you may otherwise rupture the brake line. You will probably need an extension. So take this, put it on and try not to destroy anything. This shouldn't go out too hard. Like that. And if you hear it squeak like that, you will have to lube it, of course. Alright, do the next one. Alright, I will now be removing the clamp. If these don't want to come out, you can pry them on the thread to get them like that. But make sure not to destroy the thread. Before removing it, you have to put out this part first. Alright, so the brake pads fell out already. And this is loose. I will now remove these two screws back in there, like there. And then I can remove the rotor. Alright, so I have pulled it up and the disc is off. So now I'm going to loop these two screws, because those are in my case very tight. Then I'm going to push the piston back, then I can put it back on. Alright, I used a liberal amount of it because I hate it when things seize. I have taken the new brake disc and set these screws on. I will have to tighten them now. Alright, make sure to tighten these very hard, because those two are the only things holding your brakes. Alright, so I used the old brake pad and a clamp to push the piston back in. Make sure to use at least something. I used the brake pad to not put in the piston sideways or to destroy it. Make sure this brake pad is never used in a car again. If you can't get it completely back in, so if there's a millimeter or something missing and you have to do two brakes but don't really care about the car, you could do a push and sand down some of the new brake pad, but I wouldn't recommend it. Alright guys, I will now grease this part a little bit and then put in the new pads. If you get the brake pads with the sensor and you don't have, you can rip it out. To tighten it, I just took some heating pipe and the Allen wrench and tightened it quite hard. Alright, so this clamp will be your enemy, but you can bend it as far as you can. After tightening those two screws, and if this caliper is sturdy and stiff, the brake job is done. If you want to, you can put back on the wheels and do a test drive. Alright, if this helped someone, bye.